Steve Kerr and Klay Thompson had some choice words for the Boston Celtics crowd. And I found this hilarious because I'm sitting there thinking back, I'm like, yeah, Steve Kerr, he played for the Bulls. No, they didn't have to deal with the Celtics back in the 80s or like early 90s. And his time with the Spurs, same thing, obviously. They wouldn't have faced off unless it was in the finals. So he's never really had to deal with a Boston in the postseason. And Klay, obviously, he's been a Warrior his whole time, so he wouldn't have had to unless it was in the NBA Finals. And it's as a Pistons fan, as a Laker fan, I know what to expect from the Boston crowd. They didn't do anything that surprised me. They didn't do anything that they've been doing for 40 years of basketball. They are ruckus, they are ruthless, and they don't care that you brought your kids to the game. They don't care at all.
What other R word were you about to say?
I don't know. But they don't care that you brought your kid to the game. This is Boston. This is Philadelphia. This is New York. These are these kind of cities that the fans that follow these teams, I don't care how progressive the world gets. They are not going to stop swearing at you on the court, on the ice, on the diamond, on the field. They're not. And so to me, it's soft by Steve Kerr and Klay Thompson that they would actually call the Boston fans out for this, because I'm sorry, but you have years of history to know what to expect.
It's so soft and it's so weak, especially from a championship organization. You've been here how many times over the last 8 years, and this is somehow a shock to you, like acting like you didn't get called a bitch in Cleveland or something. Like, I was shocked that this is what happened. Like, Steve Kerr played with Michael Jordan. This is a guy who would talk all the crap in the world to the other team. And I guarantee he was saying stuff that was worse than what the fans were chanting about Draymond. Like, in Klay Thompson, I don't know, he just seems like a guy who doesn't seem not much bothers him except for, like, slights on his game. You know, I know he was upset he wasn't on the NBA 75 list. But other than that, he seems like he doesn't really care about outside noise so much. And it was soft, and I am rooting for the Warriors, but if I was, like, an actual Warriors fan, like, this would be more concerning to me than anything that I saw on the court, is that they were so rattled by something that is impossible not to expect. Even if you just watched Winning Time a month ago, like, how did you not?
Klay Thompson's dad, Michael, played for the Lakers.
Any of this coming?
Michael Thompson played on the Lakers. I'm sure Klay, as a child, was in the garden for one of these games. Like, you should know what to expect. Your dad should have talked to you about this. I promise you, Michael Thompson talked to Klay once the finals were set and he knew they were facing Boston. I promise you, Michael, as a former Laker, talked to Klay about what to expect and why it is absolutely imperative that you beat these Celtics down.
Yeah, and you don't let them get in your head, because they're going to be chanting all types of stuff at you. And this the only thing you can give Draymond Green credit for in this game is that he was seemingly the only one who didn't come out and complain about the crowd. I think he basically said something along the lines of, "Yeah, I expect it. What do you mean?" And again, it was so stupid, and it was disappointing from an organization that I like, and two guys I like. I think Steve Kerr's a really good coach, and obviously Klay Thompson's a great player. But this was amazingly crybaby-ish. All the things that they said after the press conference, just all the pearl clutching, and it reminded me of Reverend Lovejoy's wife in The Simpsons. Does somebody think of the children? Like, it's so absurd. I hated every single minute of it. I can't believe they said it. Like, I thought it was something from Ball Sack Sports or that fake Twitter thing is, and then I saw the actual clip, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, this is just a disappointing night overall. Disappointing in Draymond and his game. Disappointment in Steve Kerr and Klay for their post-game remarks. Just overall, for a bunch of guys that I have a ton of respect for, I was very disappointed in all three of them. And I agree with you, though. That was the one thing Draymond said. He's like, it's not my job to respond to them. I expected that. And that was it. He let it, like, that. It was done. And I understand coming to your player and your teammates' defense, but Draymond didn't need Klay's defense there. He didn't need Steve Kerr's defense there.
He didn't need to.
Yeah. All you're doing is making yourself look so soft, and in this what is already perceived as a soft day and age, life in general and sports as well. It didn't help matters. You're in Boston, for crying out loud. This is a town that will absolutely fight and die over their sports teams. I'm sorry you're not used to it in San Francisco, where like the fan base in California is a little bit different. There's wonderful things to do outside before you get to the game. In Boston, it sucks outside unless it's the summertime. So like all they want to do is get to a game to forget how bad it is outside. Like they live and die with their teams out there.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the one. Yeah.